At June's monthly club meeting at the Fleet Reserve, UF Health did a presentation on how to stop bleeds in the event of an emergency. It was brought up during that presentation that when you call rescue services, they're going to need to know exactly where you are. And so it's a good idea for everyone to know how to get their longitude and latitude position so that they can provide that to the 911 operator. And based on that, it was requested that we do a video showing how to get that information using the various devices that those of us who ride motorcycles might have along with us. And so that's what's presented here. We cover the motorcycle GPS, your phone, and spot satellite trackers. Okay, we're going to start off if you're using the GPS on your motorcycle to get your position. There's multiple places in here that you can get that from. If we start off, you just go to the maps, view your maps, and down in the bottom right corner, the three bars there, that's a menu that gets you to some more apps in the system. Now anything that looks like it might give you your position probably does. So if we scroll down here, you can start off with where am I? That seems like it'll do pretty good for us. So if we put that in, it's locating, and here it is. It's got our Latin Lounge is right there, and it even gives you a street address if you're at one where it can get that. Another one is the Compass app right here. If you take the Compass app, it gives you your position over here in the corner. And you might not think so, but you can actually even use the trip computer. You just have to go down. Now this screen is available through the Wonder Wheel on the bike as you're riding along. You have to go down several screens, but down here you've got your position on the trip computer screen as well. Finally, if you get back, even if you're not into the screen, if you go to the apps, you can see that the compass is available just from that menu as well. If your motorcycle GPS isn't available, or you just like using your phone, or you use that for navigation, there's a couple places that you can use that as well. A simple one, I mean, if you really want to be easy, you'll go straight to the Compass app on your phone, which is right here, and as you can see, it's got your position right there. Now one thing you might want to do is, if you haven't run this in a while, you may need to move it around a little bit to make sure it has an accurate fix on you. I turned this on the other day, and it was it kept telling me south was north until I moved around a bit. So just make sure that it's giving you an accurate fix. If you're not going to use the Compass app, you can go to the app, the Apple Apps map, or map, the Maps app on your phone. And if you get into your map, up here in the upper right, you have the little eye inside the circle, your information icon. If you hit that, you can press Mark My Location, and that'll bring up this screen. And down here is your latitude and longitude. And the nice thing about this is, from right here, you can share that position information using a messaging or email or whatever to get that information out to somebody. Another way that I'll go about, let me tip that up for a second, and so that it can get a fix. Another way that I go about doing position is I use a spot tracker. This is Gen 3. And the Iron Butt Association uses these a lot. Basically, it'll ping your position every few minutes. You can put it on a map where people can view the map, but it'll record where you've been as you go along. And it's a way that the IBA uses to prove that I actually did a ride, to show I did the whole thing and when and so forth. But what it really is about is this is basically a satellite-based position and emergency notification device. So if you're in places where there's no cell phone service, as we will be when we're all out in Montana and so forth, you get down in those mountains, the cell phones aren't going to work, and so if you need to get some help and you get separated from your motorcycle and you have one of these, you'll still be in pretty good shape. And basically what this thing does is you buy the device, and then you have to have a service that goes along with it, and you can go on the internet and you can set up a variety of messages that you can send using this. And basically it's got, if you press the OK button here, like if I press and hold that for a second, it'll start to flash. And what that thing is, as you can see now, it's starting to flash. That just sent a message to a couple people, me and Lori, and you can configure who gets it, and you can type in what that message says, and they can get it via email or text. And in this case, it's like it says okay. I use that to just say, hey, everything's good, I'm moving along, and I can keep folks notified of how it's going. This other button here on this side gives you a second message that you can send, and what I'll usually do with that one is I will send something to let Lori know or whatever that I'm stopping for the night. So the position's going to stop moving on the maps, but I'm okay, there's nothing wrong, I'm just getting some rest. This is the tracking button. This starts to where it'll start pinging every few minutes. You then have the little helping hand thing. You can set up a message to this and who it goes to, and you have to open that and press and hold that button, and that'll send a third message. And what that one's really about, my thing is getting kind of old here. What that's really about is it's sort of like hey, I could use some help, but I'm not like in any medical danger or anything. I've got flat tire, or I'm out of gas, or I could use some kind of assistance, bike quit working or whatever, and that will send a message to the people you configure it to, and it gives them a position on, and they can go online and look at it on a map and see exactly where you're at, and that way somebody at home could make arrangements to get you tow trucks and everything else, even if you're outside of cell phone range yourself. And so by planning ahead, they'll know what to do. The last thing that this does is this SOS button, and if you open that little door and you press that SOS button, it will notify the GEO service, which is worldwide, and when they get that message, and so you don't want to press that unless you absolutely need it, because when they get that message, they're going to look and see where you are, and they are going to send the cavalry to you. And it doesn't really matter where you are. If you're on the side of a mountain, they're going to send helicopters. If you're on a road, they're going to send ambulance and so forth. They're going to, based on that and the position that sends, they're going to look at where you are. They're going to determine who and what needs to be sent to your assistance, and they are going to send that off. And so, if you're thrown down into a cavern or something, or you're out hiking on a trail and you slide and you're down in a gully somewhere, if this thing can see the sky, you can get help. And so I carry one of these on me, and I have one on the bike, and that way the bike's kind of notifying family and everything where I am all the time. But if I were to be separated from the bike, I still have one with me, and I can I can get help if I need it.
All right, so this is basically what I want to do is, as I mentioned outside the spot tracker, the satellite tracking system, you configure it online. This is the Find Me Spot website where you configure your thing. This is the device I had out there. If I come in here and say I want to view and edit this particular device, this area up in here is like if I wanted here, I can say I want it to ping every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever when I click that little track button with the footing. If I want messages posted, that every time I press one of those buttons, this check-in button to go to my Twitter or Facebook account, I can do that. Movement alerts, like it's almost like an alarm. If you think a spot should be sitting still but it starts moving, it'll alert you. Things like that. The main thing is that we're looking at for here is the message profile, and this is where you configure what these buttons up here actually say and to whom they send the information. You got message profiles. As you can see, you can set up multiple profiles. So I might have one profile if I'm doing an IBA ride because I'm proving I did a ride. I might have a different profile if I'm going to just be touring around the country on highways, and maybe yet another different profile if I'm going to be off-road on dirt trails and so forth. Each profile has its set of messages for those buttons, and so you can have different collections of messages based on the type of trip you're going to take. This check-in, this is the text you type. This is what's going to be sent when you press this OK check button up here. And these are the numbers it's going to get sent to. I've got mine set up to go as text messages. You can also add email and so forth. So like I said, this is I'm stopping for gas and everything, or I'm just basically saying, yeah, things are going good and I'm moving along. The photo part, that's really for the IBA. The custom message is the one over here on the left. Remember I said you could send a second message to somebody, and I usually use this one for when I'm going to stop, so if anybody's watching the map and they see I'm not moving, they know I'm okay, I'm just getting rest. And so this is the text I send, and again, these are the numbers. This help spot SOV, that's the little helping hand button up here. And so this is the one where it's like, you're receiving because I need assistance, I'm okay. So it's not a medical emergency, I'm in no danger. Maybe I got ran out of gas, a flat tire, the bike quit working, something like that. And I need help, but I'm not in I don't have cell phone service, so I can't call for the help myself. I need you to send me some help, and then this message will have my GPS, and it'll show on the map where I'm at. So this is a way to get somebody back home to send you help and know where you're at when you need it. And then the SOS, this is the SOS button. This is going to basically notify the GEOS International Emergency Response Coordination Center, and I have additional information I put in here that they can pass on, that I have like all my meds and doctor info and emergency contacts and everything is in my jacket pocket. They'll pass that information on, and this is my emergency, primary and secondary emergency contacts, and I configure all that. We can go here and we can look at the maps, and you can see what it kind of looks like. Let's see if I can get last 7 days. And you can see I went to Jacksonville the other day, and I had Spot running, and you can see it was pinging every 10 minutes. And like as you hover over these, and you can click on them, and it gives you the time and what my longitude and latitude were, and I can go to previous and next and play. Essentially I can do I guess I have to go previous, and it'll walk through all of these different tracks. So you can see kind of what people, if they want to see where you are, and that they can come into the maps in here, and they can see your track and see this every 10 minutes or every 5 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever you configured, it's going to put one of these markers on the map, and you can track all across the country that way. So that's basically, that's sort of a quickie on how Spot is set up. Like I said, there's a lot more to it. And so that's to really totally cover it is a whole other thing. But this is how you set up the messages.